Hi everyone, on this week's episode we're going to use the world's smallest Rubik's Cube. So I've had this Rubik's Cube for a while now and I really wasn't too sure what to make with it, but after showing you guys my Rubik's ball in last week's episode, I now have an idea of what to do. I'm going to make a shift knob. I've got myself a threaded insert here. I reckon if we make the ball and then put it on a shaft, it'll look pretty cool. Now my first thought was just to make another ball like this and put the insert in the bottom, but I really didn't want to go drilling into the Rubik's Cube, so I've decided I'm going to pour myself a little base layer to house the insert. Now to make this base look a little more interesting, I'm going to incorporate all the colours of the Rubik's Cube. So now that all my colours are mixed together, I'm going to go pop this in the pressure pot to cure overnight. So now that the resin's all cured, there's a couple of things we need to do before we stick down the cube. I need to drill myself a hole to glue in this threaded insert. Now the reason I'm doing this now is so that I can use this mandrel to turn it on the lathe. I'll be using 5-minute epoxy to glue in the insert. It's now time to take out our Rubik's Cube. Must admit, that's pretty cool looking. And it does actually work. So we're almost ready to glue on the Rubik's Cube, but before I do that, there's one more thing I have to do. I need to put some hot glue in this hole so resin doesn't get in. It's now time to glue down the Rubik's Cube, and for that I'll be using some UV resin. Now you'll notice here that I've drilled a hole in the middle. That's to help line it up. So now that it's all glued down, it's time to stick it back in the cup and pour some resin over the top. I'm going to put this in the vacuum chamber for about a minute to get the bubbles out, and then I'm going to put it in the pressure pot to cure. Well, it looks like we got the perfect casting. It's really clear, there's no bubbles. All I have to do now is dig my hot glue out of the bottom, put it on the lathe and turn the knob. Well, now that I'm happy with the shape, it's time to start sanding and polishing. Now, normally I'd take this to my sanding lathe, but unfortunately this mandrel only fits on my big lathe, so we're sanding it here. Before we take a look at this shift knob, I want to show you guys a few things Nicole and I have been working on. We've got our new dragon diaries, we've made some fabric eggs, and we've also made some coffee bean eggs. They smell absolutely amazing. Now if you guys want to check any of them out, I'll leave a link to my Etsy store in the description. Now let's check out this knob. that's all for this week's episode. I hope you liked this one. If you did, let me know by hitting the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.